All right, guys, I'll get started. It's just probably 30 seconds before time's up. Welcome, thank you. You're here at the cool Microsoft Edge tips and tricks. It's basically just a session to walk you through how to configure some settings and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll walk away with some stuff. My name is Haja Dalwal. I'm a Microsoft MVP and a community reporter here at Microsoft Ignite. So you'll see me roving and stuff like that and tweeting and all that fun stuff. You'll find me on Twitter as @Hooge. And if you need to connect with me in any other way, you can find me on my About.me page. So I don't have two machines here, so I'm going to have to flip between. I don't have a lot of slides, just one slide to show you what I want to try to show you. And then I'm going to be flipping back and forth and try to do a demo. So anyway, how many of you haven't used Edge, Microsoft Edge? You? Okay, just one. And most of you are familiar with Edge, stuff like that? Okay. So here's what we'll do. So it's going to be a very low-key kind of a session, and I know I'm going to run out of time because it happened to me yesterday, so just bear with me, and we'll try to go through this as quick as I can and as much as I can. So these are some of the things I want to try to highlight for you. You know, customizing your start page, your new tabs, you know, what's a reading view and reading list, how to annotate web pages, what about Flash integration, changing default search engines and stuff like that. And hopefully I can hit some of the shortcuts as well. So let's dive to the demo. I'm not used to not using a mouse, so all right. So Microsoft Edge browser has evolved with almost every revision of Windows 10, and they're adding new features and new things to make the end user experience a lot better. So you'll find sometimes like some of the settings I'm going to show you that might change in the next revision, but it's generally about the same area. So a lot of the stuff that you'll see, it will be located under these three little dots here, and that's called the hub. That's where your settings are. Okay. So I talked about setting your start page, and this is basically when you launch Edge, this is what you get. But you can change that. So you go to the corner here in the hub. And then you go under settings, all the way in the bottom. And this is where you can start changing your themes. I'm going to change it to a dark theme, light theme, open Edge on a new a start page or a specific page. So if you when you want to launch Edge and you want to have multiple web pages and stuff, you can do that. You know, CNN and your work a website and stuff like that, or just a specific one if you like to. So for example, if I go here and I say right, hopefully my site is up, but there it is, right? So you can just do that if you want. If you want to have Bing as your main page, you can do that as well. So same thing goes for tabs. Again, you go to settings, and then open new tabs with a blank page, with top sites and things like that. Very simple stuff to do. The other thing I was talking about was how to configure your default search engine. So obviously, your main search engine is Bing, because it's a Microsoft product, but you can change that to Google and DuckDuckGo, whatever you want, right? So initially what happens is when you go to a search engine for the first time, for example, I've already done Google. Let's say we go to DuckDuckGo. You'll see this little pop-up here that will tell you to add that to Edge. And then once you add that, and you'll see that for Google as well. Once you add that, it'll show up under your search engine options, and you can change your selection that way. So for example, you go to settings, you scroll down to advanced settings, hold on, right here, and you go to, where is it, right here, default search engine, and now you can pick your selection to change to the default that you want. Cool? Very simple. Another thing that I'm going to show you, which I didn't have it on the list, so I'm going to be jumping around. I'm not going to try to follow my little agenda there, because I ran out of time yesterday. So those of you that won't like to develop apps and things like that, and if you're a developer, Microsoft Edge has the developer mode, right, F12. And again, you can access that. F12 developer tools. And then you can do all sorts of things that you guys do, but I don't use this feature, but it can come in handy for troubleshooting and all that fun stuff. So take a look at this F12 developer mode. Another thing that's new or interesting with Edge is it's called caret browsing. Caret browsing is that if you're using a tablet and you don't have a mouse and you want to use a keyboard, for example, if you don't have a mouse and you want to use your keyboard to browse and to highlight, that's what caret browsing is. So the way you activate that, so let me go to a site, let's call MS Ignite that Microsoft. Oh, come on. Did I do that wrong? Never mind. You know what I'll do? I'll go to my site. Okay. To enable caret browsing, all you have to do is press the F7 key. Okay? So I've already turned it on. And you see this now, it's asking me to turn it off. So you will get, if you do this for the first time, you'll get a pop-up that says, do you want to enable caret browsing? And it tells you what it is. You say yes, and then you can do that. So what that does is that it adds a cursor somewhere on your web, anyway that you add a cursor with a keyboard. For example, here, see the cursor right here? So now you can use your keyboard and do like shift, highlight, shift down, and things like that to do copy and paste kind of stuff. So hands off from the mouse, this is what caret browsing is all about. Okay? So now let me go back here. All right. So the other awesome thing about Microsoft Edge is the ability to annotate web pages. So think of it as you're reading a book or you're reading a magazine and you're like, oh, I want to get back to it later. You flip the little corner tabs or you take a highlighter, right? So that's what you can do here. And I'll show you that. I'm sure you guys already know this, but I'll show you that anyways. So right up here, you have this Make a Web Note tool. Did you guys see that, right? It's on the corner. There's a little pen. And now right up here, you have the pen, you got a highlighter, you got an eraser, you got a little text box, and you can share, you can save, you can clip this stuff and put it into a OneNote for your later viewing or later reading. So let's say I'm using the pen, and I can choose the color and the size and stuff like that I want, and I can say, you know what? And then I can say, oh, you know what? I want to highlight this. This is really cool. Again, you can choose the color. Okay, it's just an example, right? So you can do all those kind of things. The other thing you can do is this thing called this little text box. You click anywhere, and it creates a text box. Now you can write a note or something like that. Okay, whatever, right? And what can you do with all this stuff? Then you can share it. Okay, so as soon as you click on that, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, right there. So I can clip it, You can clip web pages. So let's say you want to send it to somebody and just want to highlight certain things. What they'll get is that they'll get the clipping and they'll get also the URL and the site information. So it's really, really cool to do that. So you can do sharing right here. You can save it. There's a sharing button right here in the corner, right? And it gives you options on how you want to share the stuff. You want to tweet it, you want to email it, you want to, put it in OneNote. You can do all that stuff, and you can go and get more apps from the App Store to add if there are other things that you don't see in the list here. Very simple. Okay? How much time do I have? Okay. All right. You guys okay with that, right? Okay. So that's the web notes. Annotate web pages. Sorry. The other stuff is, starting with Windows 10 1607, Microsoft Edge has this feature to make web pages load faster. And in order to use this, you have to activate the TCP Fast Connect option, okay? Now, how do you get to that? And apparently, it loads web pages about 10 to 40% faster than normal. So all you have to do is go to About, Flags, and you get into this behind the scenes kind of settings, right? And you guys can poke around on this later on. And if you go all the way down, right here, TCP Fast Open. It's a TCP protocol that creates a handshake initially to make web pages load faster. Cool? Right here. TCP Fast Open. Oh, how do you get to this? It's about semicolon colon flags. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me see what else I have before I shoot you guys off. Oh, Flash, Cortana, okay, bookmarks and settings. All right. So I'm trying to, reading list. Let's go back to my site again. So another cool thing about Microsoft Edge is the ability to create reading lists. So think about it as books on your shelf that you want to get back to later. And instead of saving them as favorites and they get cluttered, it creates a reading list, like, books. And also reading view. So when you go to websites that have lots of images and lots of ads, and it's really like, you got little video thingies running or GIFs and stuff like that, and you just want to get to the meat of it. What you can do is you go up here to this little book icon, okay, and you enable reading view. My website is not a good site as an example, but I think you'll get, reading view is not available for this one. That's called, let's see, CNN, see what happens here. I don't know why it's not happening today. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. All right. It's supposed to it'll strip all images, everything. Was that? Oh, it just showed up. Okay, it took a little while. Oh, good, thanks. Yay, it worked. See that? So it stripped everything out. It's just giving you what you want, your content. So now you can also use your annotate web page tools, highlight things, clip it, put it into your OneNote, send it to somebody. You can do all that stuff with this. That's what the reading view is. Then if you want, you can also save the stuff as in your reading list. say here, and you can come in here and just say add, and it adds it to your reading list. And if I go here, and it'll show me all my reading list items that I want to read. See that? It's a bit different than favorites. 5 more minutes? Okay, good. All right. So you guys will probably ask about compatibility mode because IE and stuff like that has that. That goes back to like IE 9, right? To load old style web pages and things like that. So Microsoft Edge doesn't have that. It doesn't have Silverlight and doesn't have Java capabilities. So what do you do when you have a site that has that functions and you can't use it here? Well, what you can do is you open up a site and you can go to, it doesn't render properly and it doesn't open up properly and you're like, the frames are not working out right and things like that. You go to your hub, you go down here to, where is that, open in IE. And immediately you'll take that site and opens up in Internet Explorer and you'll get all your frames and Java or whatever that you have enabled, and that will work. Okay? So speaking of Java and Silverlight, you have now Flash. Flash is on by default in Microsoft Edge, and if you don't want to use Flash, you can just turn it off. Everything in Edge is basically an on and off kind of a thing, right? So you go to the hub again, settings, and it should be in advanced settings, and it's right here, right? Just turn that off and you won't have Flash. Pretty simple. What else? Oh, you have incognito mode too, private mode in Microsoft Edge. So if you want to do something that you don't want to be tracked and stuff like that, they have that here as well. Again, you go to your hub, and you can do, where is that? Incognito mode. It's not here, but you can do Control-Shift-P. Come on. And then it just popped up at the back here. See, browsing in private. So that's a shortcut. Control-Shift-P gives you that, and it's also in your settings that you can get to. Speaking of settings, speaking of shortcuts, if you do Control-H, it brings up your history. If you do Control-I, it brings up your favorites. And finally, I'll show you how to import your favorites and settings. So if you're using Chrome and Firefox and all these other browsers, and you have saved your passwords and your settings and the way, things that you have, you don't want to redo in Microsoft Edge, you can do that here by coming to Settings, Import, and now it gives you the options. Chrome, Firefox, and it tells you here, right, it imports bookmarks, history, saved passwords. So it just sucks everything in and gives you a list of what it's trying to import, and then you can say, you know what, I don't want this and I want that and stuff like that, so you can granulate and then pull it into Edge. So not sure if I have anything else to say because I'm running out of time and I don't want to rush you guys. Oh, Cortana, last thing. Microsoft Edge integrates with Cortana. So if you enable Cortana, all you have to do is you come up here again into the hub, go to your settings, advanced settings, and it's in here, right here. Right here. Have Cortana assist me. So what happens is when you use Cortana in the bottom here, and you say you're doing a search for whatever, right? For example, I'll search for myself. And it's going to do all the search. It's going to pop it up in Microsoft Edge. And you can do all sorts of things here too. All right? So last but not least, I think I'm out of time, and I know you guys want to hit your lunch. If you guys have any questions, you can hit me up right after this. And other than that, please do the evaluation, and I hope you picked up 1 or 2 tips. Thank you.